Hi guys, so I just wanted to make a video really quick because an argument went down on Facebook today, and the argument was about plastic surgery. Now, the status posted was, just because a woman gets plastic surgery doesn't mean that she's any less of a woman. And my comment to that was, yes, but it does mean that she has some self-confidence issues. And I was told, no, you're wrong. And I'm like, no, I think I'm right. Now, let me explain why I think I'm right. Women get plastic surgery because they are unsatisfied with the way that they look. Now, if I were the only person in the world, I wouldn't know that I have kind of a big nose. Or that, my ears stick out a little far. Or that, I'm thick for a girl that looks white, Or that I have caramel colored skin. I would just think that I'm me and there would be nothing wrong with that. And I wouldn't want to change that because I don't know anything else. We grow up in a society where beauty is defined as skinny, blonde, blue-eyed, like the models in Vogue and whatever else fashion magazines. I can't think of anything other than Vogue right now, but you know what I'm talking about. And that is what beauty is defined as in our society today. So, ugly, if there was no such thing as beautiful, there'd be no such thing as ugly either. Ugliness is what we define it to be. I've been told I look like a transvestite, that I look like a man, that, I'm ugly because I'm skinny. Those are all perceptions of reality. There is no one reality. Reality is whatever we perceive it to be. So women that sit here and get plastic surgery because they believe that something needs to be changed, their reality is that if something is not acceptable. Now, whether or not they view it as unacceptable, whether or not it's just them thinking that it's unacceptable, subconsciously they view it as unacceptable because society has taught them it is unacceptable. Now, you can sit here and argue that it has nothing to do with society, but we are all products of who and what and where we grow up. For example, this was actually the example that I used and I was told I was stupid. And, they insulted my intelligence and such. So the example I used was, if from the time you were 4 years old, your parents tell you that the color blue is actually called purple, you will grow up your entire life believing that the sky is purple because it is that shade, because they've told you that the color blue is actually called purple. And you will believe that until someone comes along and counters that idea and tells you, no, that's not purple, that's blue, this is purple. In fact, my pillows are purple, see? So, once a person counters that idea, you can then accept that idea and alter your opinion of reality, or you can go on carrying the reality that you've had since you were little. And no one has their own free-thinking opinion. Technically, no one does. And the reason for that is because from the time that we are little, our opinions of good, bad, right, wrong are based on what our parents have taught us are good, bad, right, wrong. So I can grow up, not to offend anyone, but I can grow up in the hood and I can learn that smoking marijuana is acceptable when by law it is not acceptable. But it is acceptable to me because I have been taught from a young age that it is acceptable. Mormons, for example, I use the example of Mormons a lot because I grew up Mormon. Mormons, for example, do not believe that it is acceptable to drink coffee. They don't believe that's acceptable because their religion dictates that. However, if your parents just happen to be straight edge or something like that, you will grow up believing that it's unacceptable to drink, smoke, drink coffee, blah, 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 all of that. Why? Because your parents have dictated to you since a young age that is unacceptable. So our opinions, our free-thinking opinions, are formed around the opinions of our parents. And as we grow older, we run into new people and new types of ideas. And then, depending on whether or not we believe those perceptions of reality to be true, we change our opinions for whatever reason, be it your emotional state, where you are emotionally in your life, who you live with, who you have become. However, all of the opinions that we get are a product of society, of the society that we grow up in. You know, as a society, we think of people that live in California as sun-kissed, skinny, always at the beach, in a bikini, blah, 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 blah. Why? You know, as an older adult, you know, when you reach 18, 19, even, you know, your teenage years, maybe not. But as a child, you perceive that to be what California's like. For example, when I was little, I used to watch Dexter's Laboratory a lot, so I thought everyone with glasses was smart. When I entered the 2nd grade, there was a girl named Morgan in one of my classes, and she had glasses, so I thought she was super smart. And then she had the worst grades in the class, and I was like, what the fuck? How is this possible? I thought people with glasses were smart. So I grew up perceiving reality as that people with glasses were smart, and then I ran across people and situations that proved that to be wrong. It's like, and I've been told, sorry I'm itching my nose, I recently got my nose pierced, so it kind of itches. So I've been told that I am wrong, that, you know, women change what they look like because they don't like what they look like. Well, you don't like what you look like because society has told you that it's not okay. Whether or not you consciously agree with that, subconsciously that's what's going on. Because if there was no one else but you in the world, you would find nothing wrong with the way you look, because what you look like is all you know. But because we live in a world where there are so many different people, there are many, many different opinions and realities of what beauty really is. Like, I have gauges, size 2 gauges. I think gauges are beautiful. I think they're beautiful and wonderful in art. Why? Because I have grown up around people who find bizarre and abstract things beautiful. Therefore, I find bizarre and abstract things beautiful. From a young age, I was, what's the word? I found my dad's porn once, pretty much. So from a young age, I saw porn, and I have grown up, and I am straight, but in an artistic fashion, I find the female body to be very beautiful. Why? Because I saw porn when I was like 7, because my dad didn't hide it well enough under his bed. Whatever. But the point was that these people were not understanding was that women feel the need to change what they look like because it's not acceptable it's not acceptable to society. If my nose sticks out to freaking like here and is, you know, tilted up like this, that's not acceptable to society. Michael Jackson might have found himself beautiful. It was not acceptable to society how he looked, but he was okay with how he looked because he accepted himself. Now, for whatever reason, his skin color got all funky, but the point is that when women medically alter what they look like, they are doing it because somewhere, subconsciously in their brain, whether or not they admit it or even realize it's going on, society has not accepted them as the norm. Therefore, they want to change to become the norm because their perception of reality is that way. Now, like I said before, I've been told a tranny, I've been told I look like a boy, I've been told I'm ugly because I'm skinny, I've been told I'm fat. Now, I've been told I have fucking whale hips. I've been told that I have ugly hair. I've been told that I have big ears. I've been told I have a big nose. I've been told that I am a disgrace to the Puerto Rican race before. Probably because I'm so white, but you know. And I grew up believing all of that. Why? Because that was my perception of reality at the time because of my emotional state, because I was a very depressed young adult. Same goes for people that think they're ugly. If you grow up in a household where your parents tell you that you're ugly all the time, you're going to believe that you're ugly because that's all you've ever been told by your parents. Ever. And then this girl tries to argue, well, yes, but then I grew out of it. Yes, you grew out of that because that was your perception of reality, and as you grew and were introduced to other people and dated certain guys who told you you were beautiful, you slowly started to believe it because you were told it enough. And that is my point. My point is, women that feel the need to change their appearance have been told enough that it is not acceptable that they feel the need to change it. There's no such thing as, oh, I don't like the way I look because I want to change for me. That is not even plausible at all. Because if you were alone in this world, you wouldn't have a problem with the way you look because there's no one else in the world to look at except for yourself. You cannot find flaw if there's only one of a kind. You can't find it because you have nothing to match it to. Like if I'm gonna sit here and look at this hand and I've got a bracelet on this arm, and we'll say that society accepts that you have to have this bracelet on this arm, on your arm, on a arm, you know, and then I can go look at someone else's arm and they don't have that bracelet, and because society says that it is acceptable to have this kind of bracelet on your left arm, that person's not acceptable. Why do you think trends are? Well, you know, when I was growing up, it was drinking energy drinks was cool. Silly bands were awesome. Having technicolored hair was cool. Why was that cool? Because society deemed it so. Not because there was a free-thinking human being, because they were good enough at marketing and they put the right people on TV drinking them that it became cool. And that's all it is. That's it. So, pretty much to wrap this up, my point is kind of that no one really has their own opinion, and my first point is no one has their own opinion because your opinion is based on the opinions of your parents and then is altered based on who and what you encounter in life. 2, women that get plastic surgery do have some sort of self-esteem issues because you would not want to alter your face or your body if you were not uncomfortable with it, and you would only be uncomfortable with it if someone told you it was not right, because that is how you become uncomfortable. 3, add my channel, subscribe, go watch Raylan Johnson, he's really awesome, and yes, that's it. But yes, that's enough of my ranting for today. I hope you enjoy this video. Have fun.